I'm showing you my ridiculous setup to make a pinhole photograph of the place where we removed the bees from our barn. And so I've got my pinhole camera set up, and I've got some little sort of still life items arranged right in front of it, which I've fairly carefully figured out to hopefully be in the shot. I'm interested in all the detail of where the comb used to be. What's blowing out this video is that I have my lights on to hopefully shorten the time a little bit. So the key now is to take a good accurate light reading, remembering that this is aperture 135 and I have 400 ISO film in there. So I have a really, what I love, old school analog light meter. It's called a Gaussian LunaPro. And what I like about it is just, you can see the aperture range is really long from f1 to f90. That obviously is still not including the range that we need of 135. But obviously aperture numbers are fairly consistent, so we can do the math for that. It also goes to extremely sensitive low light situations. This is the incident reading dome. If I wanted to record reflected light, I would just aim it at my subject like that. Or if I wanted to be specific as to placement, I would climb up on this chair, which is thankfully off camera, and aim it back, making sure not to block the light as it's falling on my subject. This being a fairly awkward situation, to say the least, I'm going to slide the incident reading part aside and simply measure the light reflecting off of the wood, kind of that area right down there that's not super dark and is representatively lit. So to do that, I'm just going to push the button, and then I can come back to a more comfortable situation and have a look at what I've got. Well, my meter gave me a reading of f90 for 4 seconds. Since for my camera I need a reading for f135, I can look up what the next standardized full stops would be. And you can see here that if I use something between f128 and 181, I'll need somewhere around 10 to 15 seconds. The other way I can meter this is certainly using the ever popular meter app. Lots of different versions of this. And so with it set for 400, which is the film that I have in the camera presently, and I'm going to go with f181. I would rather err on the side of overexposure anytime, so therefore I'm choosing the higher of the two aperture numbers to select my reading today. And I am getting 16 seconds with 400 ISO film at f181. You can log it if you like, so you can keep track of your data. So your next step is really straightforward. Don't forget to take that lens cap off. Make sure you have advanced your film to the first number on your roll, or an odd number, remember, if you've already been taking pictures. For 16 seconds, I'm going to just hold it. So I am going to make sure that my cable release lock is locked down, and I'm just going to hold it. So here we go. And now, before you take the next picture, just like on the regular Holga, be sure that you advance your film. So open that window just enough to do it. Go to the next odd number. Remember, pass up any even numbers because we are using twice as much film on these settings.
Got my photos all taken. Wind and wind and wind and wind and wind. If you want, you can check the little window. A lot of tape on the back here, but you'll be able to see when there's no more paper showing. Then we can take the film out. Now, you don't have to be in a dark room or anything like that to do this. You just want to be in kind of subdued light. So if you don't have to change it out in the bold sun, that's great. If you are out in the sun, or outdoors trying to change roles, go in between, maybe just turn your back to the sun so that your body's in the shade. Now, you want to hang on tight and pull this paper around. See how it gives you this little tab to tape it? If this unsprings, you're going to have light leaks between the protective paper and the plastic top of the spool. So we want to tape this firmly in place until it's time to develop it. So this just needs to be moistened a little bit. Now that's ready to wait for processing. This little bag that it comes in is nice for blocking some of the light if it's got a little ways to go in your bag or purse. And then besides that, most film boxes have the developing information on the inside. So there you go, ready to go to the lab.
And here we are. The film's been developed. I've scanned it. And here are 2 of the finished images. Thanks for watching.